Hello, today I'm going to explain the vectors inside of aim constraint options inside of Maya. What aim constraint does is it makes one object points at the other object. For example, like this. So, in what kind of the way does object 1 point to object 2 is decided by the vectors here. Aim vector simply is the value that telling aim constraint that, hey, which axis of object 1 is pointing to object 2. You can see here I said 1 for the second value, which is x, y, z. I said wait 1 for y-axis to point to the cube. That's why you can see the cone's y-axis is pointing to the cube. If I set this to 1, 0, 0, it will be the x-axis of this cone pointing to the cube. See? Now, the second value, up vector, is the one that supports the first value to decide other than pointing y-axis to the cube, which axis will be pointing up. Let's say I want this tip to point at the cube. I set my y-axis as 1. Now, it will not work if I set the up vector of y-axis as 1. They will conflict and Maya will only take this. So this is a support value. And then, let's say if I want z-axis, which is the blue axis, pointing up, it simply just set 001 as x, y, z. I want z-axis to point up. Let's try. The result is z-axis is pointing up. And if I want my x-axis pointing up, I changed this to 100. Let's try. X-axis is up. And the third and fourth value, world up type. Sometimes you might see here as vector and it shows 0, 1, 0. This value tells aim constraint that, hey, what is the up axis in the scene? And this value will align to the up value of the scene. That's why you can see up vector when I said here as axis as 1. Axis is pointing up because it aligns with the y-axis up for the scene. And usually the easiest way of config this is to set scene up. Then you can just easily see, hey, my y-axis is pointing up. The only thing I need to think about is in the up vector, which axis do I want to point up to support my main pointing axis to the other object. That's all.